What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today I've got some more mental entitled parent stories for you, so sit back, relax if you can, and let's get straight into them. Entitled mum bashes dad's windows in over me not coming home. So, a bit of background. This story happened when I was about 14 or 15 years old. Me and my dad had recently met and started to bond. My grandparents had custody of me and allowed me to go to my dad's house literally anytime I wanted so that I could have a real parent in my life. My mother wasn't happy about this because, well, she's my mum. She wasn't happy with any positive relationship I had with anyone, especially if I wasn't jumping through hoops to make her happy. So, during this time, my grandparents planned a vacation to Las Vegas. They gave me full permission to go stay at my dad's house for 2 weeks, and they hired a sitter for my younger siblings and their home. So it starts off as any regular day at my dad's house. Me and my stepsister get up, do some chores around the house, play fight with a wet wash rag after washing dishes, the normal teenage life. My stepmom wakes up and makes breakfast while we play with my baby sister. My dad is sleeping because it happens to be a weekend and he doesn't work weekends unless he gets called in. Well, if I didn't have such trashy cell service, I would have been able to warn all of them of the storm approaching. But I had no service at my dad's house, so I didn't receive any of the calls from my entitled mum or my grandparents. Randomly, we hear a truck pull up in the front yard. It's my entitled mum's black truck. My stepmom said, "Is that your mum?" I guess so. I'm gonna go wake your dad up." A few minutes later, my dad is at the front door and he's talking to my mum. "Tell my daughter to pack her stuff and come on." "No, we have permission for her to stay here while her grandparents are in Vegas. She's not going anywhere unless she wants to." My stepmom is whispering to me now. "Do you want to go with your mum? It's okay if you do, we won't be angry with you." "No, I'd really like to stay if that's okay. I really wanted to spend more time with you guys, so when school starts I can stay here more on school days." "That's perfectly fine with us. We're always happy to have you here. As long as you want to be here, we won't let anything happen to you." By this time, you can hear my entitled mum going off. "She's my daughter. I will call the police if you don't bring her out here right now." "I'll go talk to her. Stay here." He slams the door in her face. My dad says to me, "Do you want to go back with your mum?" My stepmom says, "She said she'd like to stay here. We talked while you were handling her. You don't have to go anywhere. Do you want to tell her yourself that you want to stay?" Can you do it, please? I don't really want her to yell at me. She has a way of making me feel bad every time I try to talk to her." "Of course. Maybe it's best if everyone goes to the back rooms." We all start moving towards the back of the house. All we can hear is screaming now. "Where is that freaking brat? Come out here right now." She calls me by my middle name. "You aren't staying here." "Get off my property. If you don't leave, I'm calling the police." My stepmom and stepsister hide me in the closet and give me a baseball bat. Now guys, you may be thinking that seems a little bit drastic. Just wait a second, look what happens next. "You can't keep her from me. She's my daughter. She has to come with me." All we hear after this is the sound of glass being smashed, something sounding like metal against metal, and then her truck driving off. Eventually, we all go outside to see all of the cars have their windows smashed in and the paint and sides are scraped up pretty bad. My dad, bless him, didn't call the cops. I'm not sure why. He did call my grandparents though, and they explained that they had tried to contact me to give me a heads up that my entitled mum would be on her way over. Apparently, when they told her they gave me permission to stay with my dad while they were on vacation, she lost her mind. Everything was fine after that. We laughed it off and pretty much told stories of how crazy my entitled mum has been, even before I was born. My dad said he wouldn't talk badly of her because he didn't believe in that, but said this was the second time she smashed his windows in his truck in. And he told me that he doesn't hold any resentment towards her now, but she made his life heck after I was born. The stories my stepmom told were pretty funny too. My entitled mum was so crazy she didn't let them anywhere near me, so they'd have to get in contact with my aunts to find out when and where my sports tournaments were or my concerts. Then they showed me videos of my games and concerts to show me that they had always been there for me, even if I didn't know they existed. My entitled mum had told me at a young age that my dad died, so I had no idea I even had a dad until I was in middle school. Besides my entitled mum going crazy crazy, it was a really nice day. I've always been grateful for them. My dad passed away a few months after I turned 18, so he's been dead for a few years. I've never forgiven my entitled mum for the time I missed out on with him. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed, and as usual, not words, just what I got from memory. Oh wow, honestly guys, what I thought was going to be quite a crazy, funny, normal entitled parent story, well, it turns out it was actually quite tragically sad. I can't think of anything much worse than not allowing your kid to see their real dad. Like, that is just a horrible thing, especially when the dad clearly is a really nice guy. I guess this entitled mum is just spiteful. It seems to me that what is very likely here is that the dad realized how entitled and rude and just horrible and crazy your mum is, and said to himself, you know what, I'm not spending time with this woman, I'm gonna go and meet someone that I actually like. I mean, yeah, he probably knew that would mean seeing less of you when you were born, but still, you don't want to live with someone that doesn't make you happy, right? I guess what he didn't expect though was that this mum would go absolutely crazy and not let you see him at all. That is so wild. I'm just really sorry that your dad has now passed away. That's obviously a real shame, but hopefully you can now live with your stepmom if she's willing. I think it sounds like she is. She would be way better than your entitled mum, clearly, and probably wouldn't want to smash your car windows in. Now moving on to our next story. You owe me $1,200. When I was 17, I had purchased 10 ounces of silver from my high school art teacher. I believe I paid just under $20 for it. I'd shown this to my mum when I came home from school. However, that night, my heavy-handed father once again got drunk and beat me up for the last time. He said that my being anti-war was un-American and I needed beating. I left home that night. I took my clothes, a few keepsakes, some books, and also the silver. I left quite a few belongings behind in a closet in my room, belongings that my parents refused to let me retrieve in later years. I got most of it back when they died, but things like the first Barbie in its original box and a chatty Cathy doll were gone. But I digress. This was back in 1967. By 1980, I'd been married 5 years. My sister had come by to visit and she told me that she had just been to see our mum and dad. She also told me that they were frantically tearing through the closet in my old bedroom and wouldn't tell her why. I just shrugged at this because our parents were odd to say the least. About 10 minutes after she told me this, my mum called me. Mum didn't even say hi when I answered the phone. She just frantically asked me where I had put that silver you'd purchased. It took me a while to remember just what silver she was talking about. When I finally remembered, I told her that I had made all of that into jewelry over a decade before. This totally annoyed her. She screamed at me to stop lying. She said that they had been looking for that silver all day. I was still puzzled, so I asked her why. That is when she told me that the silver price was nearly $50 an ounce at that moment, and she knew that I had several ounces of it, and I needed to tell her where it was right now. I again told her that it was all gone. I had made rings and pendants with it, had given them away to my friends, and even sold some. She then freaked out. All 25 ounces of it? It was 10 ounces and that was 13 years ago, I said. She really came unglued. She said that her and my dad were counting on that $1,200 because my youngest brother needed it for his kids, that I was being selfish. Then she decided that I owed her $1,200 because I didn't leave the silver at her house as I should have done. I reminded her that it wasn't 25 ounces, it was only 10, that I had purchased it with my own money, so it had been my property, and I owed her, my dad, and my brat-butted youngest brother nothing at all. This angered her further. She told me that I will be hearing from their lawyer, and then she slammed the phone down. She would have hated cell phones because you can't slam them. I never did hear from her lawyer, at least not that time. In fact, I never heard another word about that stupid silver. The price went back down just a day or so later. It had been a weird fluke that had made it soar in price like that anyway. I mean, you can't just go get instant market value for metals like that, can you? I wouldn't think a precious metals broker would want to risk their money on a fluke. I'm sure that her dread lawyer told them this, as well as telling her she had no case, if she even talked to him at all. Oh yeah, OP, there's no doubt in my mind that lawyer thing was totally made up. There was no way she was going to get a lawyer involved for a little bit of silver, surely. I think her main point there was that she was just trying to threaten you and hopefully, you know, persuade you into going and finding that silver that you definitely hadn't gotten rid of 10 years ago. I mean, if it was me in that situation, I personally would have bragged more about the silver. I would have said something like, you know, oh, that silver? Wow, that would have been worth so much today. It's such a shame I got rid of it. It would have been worth, you know, 10, maybe even £100,000. Oh, I had so much of it back in the day. I would have loved to see a reaction to that. Now guys, as you may know, I am now showcasing some of your fan art at the end of my videos, and today we've got this one from Commander Alaska. As you can see, this is just absolutely exceptional. I mean, firstly, it really does look like me. It's a really good drawing of me, I must say. It's very accurate. And secondly, he's put me in like an officer's outfit, which is so cool. I spoke to him a little bit about it further in Twitter DMs because I was just super interested as to what I was wearing, and he said that it was a 1770s officer, a 1770s officer uniform. I mean, that's pretty cool. Guys, if you want to have your fan art showcased in these videos, the best way to get in contact with me and send it to me is via Twitter. As you can see, it's on screen right now. Just DM me, my DMs are open, just hit me up. Anyway guys, that is going to do it for this Entitled Parents video. I really hope you have all enjoyed it. If you did, drop a like, comment your opinions down below, and make sure you are subscribed with notifications on so you never miss one of my daily uploads. If you want some more from me right away, check out the playlist on screen, but if not, I will see you same time, same place tomorrow with another video.